Shanti. This is Sakar Murli of 2nd August 2023. Essence. Sweet children, wake up in the early morning hours of nectar and sit in meditation. Think I am a soul and my Baba is the master of the garden. He is the boatman and I am his child. Become a master and tune the jewel of knowledge. Question. Which one aspect is given importance by the world outside and also the Father? Answer. That of donating. You children have to become merciful and have compassion for everyone. Give the donation of the imperishable jewel of knowledge to everyone. Donors are the prized a great deal. Their names are mentioned in the newspaper. You also have to donate to others. That is, you have to teach them meditation. Song. My heart says thanks to the one who has given me support. Om Shanti. Support is given to those who are drowning. They are given support in order to take them across because the people of Bharat recognize him, the boatman. The task of boatman is to save someone from drowning. You children understand that the boat of the people of Bharat has sunk. Every aspect applied to the people of Bharat. This cannot be said of the people of any other land. It is the only you who understand this. The story of becoming the true Narayan, that is the story of immortality, takes place here. When you sit in the meditation in the early morning hours, whom do you remember? On the path of devotion, some remember one deity and others remember others. All the spiritual endowment of the inaccurate because they don't have the boatman or the master of the garden to teach them. Gurus teach people meditation and tell them what to do. They make a great deal of effort to stay in meditation. Remembrance. Yoga is called spiritual endowment. Human beings teach that the other human beings. You now understand that the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, is the gardener of his garden, that he is the master of the garden. Ravan is the master of the forest of thorns. Maya Ravan creates the forest of thorns. Only a few people understand your things. They forgot them. Maya makes them forget. Maya creates few obstacles when you sit in meditation. The Father also teaches you how to do meditation. You have karma yogis. You have to perform actions during the day. There is no bondage in this. They cannot have meditation during a day. During the day, there is eating, drinking, playing, dancing, and doing business, etc. They are not able to maintain remembrance, waste, doing any of that. Many says that they stay in remembrance throughout the whole day. However, that could be very difficult. Baba shares his own experience. The time of the early morning hours of nectar is the purest time of all. It is easy to have remembrance at that time. The time of Amrit Vela is the best of having remembrance at that time to all. There are many things that you have to attend to during the day. Yes, it is good if you are able to have constant remembrance while doing things. However, Baba shares this experience. I try very hard to talk to you while staying in remembrance of Baba. Internally, I have the intoxication. This Father, Prajapita Brahma, I am speaking to you children. I am the Father of the human world. I become intoxicated with this consciousness, but I found it very difficult to maintain the consciousness that I am a soul and that I am talking to you wisely, saying to this remembrance of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. That remembrance is very difficult. Baba shares his experience. The Father also teaches you. The Shiv Baba understands that he is the master of the garden. The gardener could surely create a garden. He could not create thrones. A gardener could not plant thrones. A gardener is always the master of the garden. He plants flowers. Therefore, Baba too plants flowers. It is Maya that creates the forest of thrones. By following his direction, human beings become like thrones. You have received the knowledge that Baba is the gardener. He is the boatman. He is also the merciful one. And he is the seed as well. When one sits in the meditation at night, one considers that garden to be that large. Previously, it used to be very small. As well as yoga, this knowledge is also needed. Human beings don't have this knowledge. They have many types of yoga. They must be sitting and remembering someone or other. There is no question for this knowledge in that. When they sit in the remembrance Mother Kali, only the face of the Kali appears in front of them at that time. They also continue to remember Jagadamba. That is the path of devotion. Either do they have remembrance of the Father, nor they do remembrance of the inheritance. They perform devotions in many different ways. Sometimes the beats of rosary, sometimes the beats of the incognito way. Your rosary is the also incognito. They have so many customs and systems in the path of devotion. Baba has experienced this in his childhood. My father used to turn the beads of the rosary. Then, when I saw him, I too used to do sitting in the little room and turn the beads of the rosary. He used to chant Rama, Rama. That's all. He had none of the knowledge. You children now have this knowledge. When you form the habit of sitting here in the meditation in early morning hours of nectar, you will experience a great deal of the pleasure. Baba shares his experience. He also continued to tune his knowledge. This is such a huge garden previously. It used to be small. When you remember the seed, you could also remember the garden. He is the garden created. Baba has his knowledge and you also have this knowledge. The full tree enters in your intellect. All of this turns around inside you. This is called meditation. You have to happiness of the belonging to the Father and also have to happiness in this knowledge. You remember both things. Those who have the knowledge of the elements of light do not sit in the meditation in this way. They only remember the element of the light. All they want to do is they merge into the element. They don't know the creator or this creation also. Their ideas are totally different from these who are your children. You have the knowledge of that Baba is the seed. By sitting in the meditation at night, you have very good thoughts. You can understand that you used to do the path of devotion. People teach many types of the Hatha Yoga, etc. You have now understand that by remembering the Father, you also able to remember the whole of this creation. You have been around the cycle of 84 births and you now going back home. The cycle of the drama continue to turn. You remember the wealth of this knowledge and you also remember the one who gives you this wealth. The more you stay in the remembrance, the firm your stays will become. You can experience in anyone how you sit in meditation. Human beings receive many different instructions to remember so and so. Here, all of you are following one direction. You stay in the remembrance of the one, young and old. Everyone receives the same directions. You have to sit in the meditation. We souls cannot be Supreme Soul. The soul says, I have completed 84 births. I now have to turn home. Could the Supreme Soul say this? He doesn't take birth and rebirth. When people come to you, take them to the hall. When you see emitment, people come here, understand more. Bring them to here and explain to them how we sit in meditation, how we meditate in the night as well as during the day, and how we only remember the one Father. The Father orders or remember me and remember the cycle of the creation. 84 births have also been remembered. It is surely the deities who excited first. It is their 84 births that have been remembered. You have to explain the secrets of the cycle very clearly. You remember the Father and the cycle of His creation. Your intellects have remembrance of the Father and also knowledge of the beginning, the middle and end of the creation. We also follow one direction. We are following Srimad. The purifier Father comes and gives you your unlimited inheritance of the heaven. And so you definitely have to remember the Father. It is from the Father that you claim your inheritance. Later you fall and you become impure by end. The Father is the Creator, and so He could surely give the knowledge of the creation. God the Father is the knowledgeful, the purifier. Therefore He could definitely come into the impure world in order to purify it. If you sit and explain this to others, they will be very impressed. Tell them, don't simply say that this is good and then leave. You have to put into the practice. There is a burden of sign of immortality births on heads and take time to remove. You have to explain to them, Baba has come and death is just ahead. If you become careless, you will not able to claim your inheritance. You must not delay in carry out the auspicious task. Learn and go. By sitting in the meditation, you will experience a great deal of the intoxication. Now remember the Father. He is your Father, the one whom you have to be remembering on the path of devotion of the birth after birth. You have different physical fathers in every birth, but you still definitely remember the incorporeal Father because He is your eternal Father. You receive perishable inheritance from your physical fathers. You receive the imperishable inheritance from the imperishable Father. You become elevated by the following the Srimad of the one who is doubly elevated, Sri Sri. The original eternal religion is that of the deities. The different clans merged from that. The renunciation of the sannyasis is of the semi-pure level, whereas your renunciation is completely pure. This is Raj Yoga. The main scriptures of the Bharat is Gita. As for meditation, you have to explain the Father teaches us meditation in this way. No human beings can be called God. The God of the everyone has to be one. He is the purifier. He is heavenly God, the Father, and He only comes in Bharat. A few temples has built in Him on the path of devotion. We become elevated by the following the directions of the one who is doubly elevated. Sit and understand these things. Understand the Father and the beginning, the middle and end of His creation. No one else knows this. The during of the golden age is shown in the just this much. When the tree is new, it is called heaven. After that, it starts to decline. The full world is now hell. Not only every form, but the full world too had to become hell. It is the forest of thrones. They continue to break one another. The Father has come to create the garden of Allah. The Father comes and establishes paradise. You understand that is the known as the garden of the flowers and what is the known as the forest of thorns. You are becoming the divine flowers. You should continue to have these thoughts. Baba has the knowledge of you children also have great knowledge. By having such a thoughts at night, you will experience great pleasure. You should explain in this way because those poor helpless things do not know anything, and that is why you feel compassion for that. They call out, "Oh God the Father," but they don't know the Father or His creation. We have now become the children of the Allah. You should have a great intoxication while explaining this. You have the imperishable jewel of knowledge, so you should donate them. Donations are prized a great deal. Their names are mentioned in the newspaper. It is religious minded people who have given directions. You are religious minded. If you don't have to make in this devotion, what could you receive? You definitely have to donate. It is very easy to donate knowledge. Baba tells you how to sit meditation and how the cycle of world turns. Previously, there was one religion and the other religions are later then urged. All of those are claims. These things should sit here and intellect of the children. Human beings are the very interested in yoga. Tell them, come and try our meditation. Those who are religious minded will come happy and they see the meditation hall. Religious minded people never commit sin. Although you children have many points to explain, you are number wise. The locks are on the intellect of some of you do not open at all. How could you lock open and if don't remember the Father? There is a very easy thing. You have to explain how you sit in the remembrance. People don't even know that who is the remembrance. The incorporeal Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Himself, who is the Father of all, is teaching us. He is purified God of the Father and He is the teaching us Raj Yoga. It is the now up to you and whether you study or not. All of us are following one direction. We are taking direction from the one who is double elevated. This is the aim and object. Just as the Father is having knowledge full, so you are His children. Only the one Father can change humans into deities. By having these thoughts at night, too, you have to experience great pleasure. Om Shanti. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, Father, Bab Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dharana. First point. Waken in the early morning hours of nectar, tune the knowledge whilst sitting in the remembrance. Remember the wealth of the knowledge as well as the bestower of the knowledge. Second point, stay in godly intoxication as you do service. So show everyone this easy way to the meditation. Remember the harmony by following one direction. Blessing. May you be the embodiment of all attachments and give everyone the experience of the peace and power with the vibration of the spiritual happiness. The vibration of the spiritual happiness on the face of the children who are filled with the godly attainment and who are the embodiment of all attachments, reach all souls who are also experience peace of knowledge. Just as faith trees with the coolness of their shadow give people coolness and they become happy. In the same way, these vibrations of your happiness with the shade of your attachment give bodiless and mind to experience of the peace and power. Slogan. Those who are embodiment of the remembrance experience and devise situations to be like a game. Om Shanti.